Suspended superintendent at the Holyoke Soldiers Home is speaking out. This as the state attorney general begins to investigate the circumstances leading up to the deaths of 25 veterans at the facility, at least 18 of them testing positive for COVID-19. Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane joins us now live with more. Lindsay?
Superintendent of the Holyoke Soldiers Home, Bennett Walsh, tells Western Mass News while some say state officials were left in the dark, he says those reports are false.
The Holyoke Soldiers Home is under investigation by the Massachusetts Attorney General as well as an independent investigator hired by the state after more than 24 veterans died at the facility, a majority with positive test results for COVID-19. Governor Charlie Baker reiterating this week that his administration should have been notified earlier.
I think we all are appalled by what took place at the Holyoke Soldiers Home, and especially about the lack of follow-through on standard protocols with respect to reporting.
But Superintendent Bennett Walsh of the Holyoke Soldiers Home released a statement to Western Mass News saying state officials knew what was going on at the Soldiers Home and they were not left in the dark. He says in part, "We provided updates on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. These updates were by phone, text, email, conference calls, and official report forms. These updates were made at various times to staffs of the Secretary of Veterans Services, the Executive Office of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Public Health." He says on March 27th, state officials were notified that 28 veterans were showing symptoms of the coronavirus and samples were sent for testing. The 28 veterans were living in different locations. He says on March 27th, 10 veterans were positive for COVID-19 and 3 were negative. The test results for 15 veterans were pending. 2 veterans had died, 1 with a positive test and 1 with test results pending. Superintendent Bennett Walsh goes on to say in part, "At midday Friday, March 27th, I requested that National Guard medical personnel be sent to the Soldiers Home to assist our staff. That request was denied." He says state officials were notified that the home was in a crisis mode regarding staff shortages. But he says between Friday night on March 27th and Sunday morning on March 29th, 6 more veterans died, bringing the total number of deaths to 8. By Sunday afternoon, we had determined that 4 deaths were positive for the coronavirus and 4 deaths had test results pending. The delay in getting test results was frustrating to all. This information was reported to state officials on Sunday afternoon at about 4:30 p.m. Superintendent Bennett Walsh says state officials knew that Holyoke needed as much help as possible. No one was kept in the dark.
He says he's been interviewed twice by investigators and is fully cooperating in the process. He has been suspended during the investigation. Live in Holyoke, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.